Hello guys, level 841. I'm very sorry, but the game is dead apparently. At least according to people like Mr. Blackpanthaa and Mr. StraightUpHippo, and so they are talking a bunch of trash out of their neck. Unfortunately, there are a few 10,000s of people watching that trash, and they take it for granted. So yeah, Mr. R, a rookie, that is a problem for you. Because, you know, there are people out there who say the game is dead. And you are a rookie, you just joined this game. My god, can you believe it? You just buy this game. Here another rookie. My god, all these new players. They have no idea what they got themselves into. Well, Mr. Blackpanthaa and Mr. StraightUpHippo, may I advise you to stick with Need for Speed. At least there you are connected to AA, there you are connected to the devs, there you have some inside information, and there you know what you're talking about. It is so typical that the two guys that you see walking around on the AI stand at Gamescom, then when they are coming back from Gamescom, suddenly do a video on this game and suddenly this game is dead and it's trash and whatnot. Of course, because they need to now getting super excited and super hyped about the new Need for Speed. Because that's what they do. Mr. Blackpanthaa especially because, yeah, I think he's probably the last man standing. Even after a year or so into Need for Speed Payback, he kept claiming that that was a good game, while most of the rest just found it trash. But it is what it is. When it comes to this game, is this game that, of course, it is not kit. It is just they have posted a bit of an enigmatic article, which they probably could use some other words there to make it all a bit more clear. What is happening is that they are working on something, and it's probably going to be something big, which requires for them to have some time to do that, to make that happen. So that is what they are doing, and what they have posted is that we will be having some summits running and that kind of stuff. Also there, Mr. Blackpanthaa, you occasionally should read the article properly. He did not do this previous summit because, yeah, he didn't need to put the effort into the Devo Magma because they are going to repeat summit, so he will win it eventually. No. If you read the article properly, you will see that they repeat exactly 3 summits. Rising Sun, Untamed Italians and Flying Germans. That means you get a chance at winning the Red Fury, the Hurricane Performante and the Porsche Cayman Wasp Edition again. All the other summits are not mentioned. There's also no indication that they will repeat it. It might be possible that over time they might repeat some of the other premiums, but not at this time. Because after those 3 that they will repeat, they're gonna bring in a new batch of summits. A batch, going by the first 2 batches, a batch normally contains 13 summits, including some new vehicles and such. In the game files, people are doing some data mining. There is a list out there on the wonderful world of the web with all kind of cars and bikes and whatnot vehicles on there. Yeah, if all of those vehicles on that list come into the game, this game is far from dead, because then there is still a lot to come. And that list is pretty accurate, because whatever it is that we were having so far, like the Devo Magma, like the Wasp Edition, like some other vehicles that they brought into the game, 488 Pista, NSX GT3, you name it, is on that list. So that list seems to be pretty accurate, and I can assure you there are a bunch of other cars and bikes and whatnot on that list. So more to come. Other than the fact that they are working on stuff like that. Timing wise, titles like Need for Speed and Forza, they are 1-2 year titles. In the past, Need for Speed was every year a new title. Now they seem to also do it sort of more Forza style, meaning every 2 years. Need for Speed 2015, Need for Speed Payback was in 2017, now we have Need for Speed Heat in 2019. So probably the next title will be in 2021. Forza, they are sort of waiting on the new console before they come out with their new titles, which means that there will be not a Forza Motorsports this year. So it's probably going to be next year for the Forza Motorsports, and then the next Forza Horizon 5, probably 2021. That means that we have this year, we have a new Need for Speed title. In 2021, more than likely, a new Forza title. That means that the whole 2020, when it comes down to open world racing games, is completely empty. Nothing there. Perfect timing to bring a new update or a new expansion, wouldn't you think so? So it actually would make sense that in a game like this, which has a life expectancy of about 4 or 5 years, just like the Crew 1, this game will also run for a couple of years, till 2022 probably, would also make sense. If the new Need for Speed comes out in 2021 and the Forza Horizon 5 in 2021, then you have the whole of 2022 open to, for instance, bring the Crew 3, which is 3 years from now. That means that this game still needs to run for 3 years. So is it dead? I don't think so. But obviously, if it's like double the amount compared to the other games of a live time, then you're also going to spread out your updates and expansions a bit more. That's logic. And at the same time, it gives them more time to work on it. So that's always better to make it all happen. What also, of course, matters is that you have a map size here, which is about 10-15 times the map of Forza or Need for Speed. So they need more time to make it all happen, obviously. You cannot create a map like this in 1 year or 2 years time. That's also why you see things coming back all the ways on Forza and Need for Speed, because yeah, they have to use all kind of stuff from the previous game to make it all happen. They sort of did the same here on the looks of it, because you have the same map, right? Well, not exactly. It's a completely new map. They had to rebuild it from scratch, more or less, because everything looks different. So they had to needed a few years to make this game. So it is far from that. It just was an article which was posted. Yeah, the wording could have been a bit different. You more or less need to read also in between the lines, because they didn't exactly mention on what it is that they were working, or that they were working on something big which you can expect somewhere next year. No, they just said that there would not be anything for the next couple of months, except for new summits and bug fixes and some new vanity items and whatnot that they can come up with, some small updates here or there, maybe small patches, whatever you want to call it. And then the big thing next year, whatever it is that they are working on. But you have these impatient guys who are connected to these short-term games, and then they expect this game, which has like double amount of lifetime expectancy, to do the same and bring out everything every 2 months or every 3 years. No, that's not going to happen. This game has double lifetime compared to the other games, so you will also have double amount of time before they actually bring out updates. Then I see also a lot of, every time when they're doing like a Twitch stream or whatever on Tuesday, always the same people. We need this car, we need that car. Cars, it all has to do with licensing, ladies and gentlemen. Stop asking for cars. You can go to the forums. There's like some sort of wish list. The most requested cars they will try to get into the game, but it has to do with licensing. Either they can get it or they can't get it. Like one of those, it's slightly starting to get a bit of a troll car, is the Toyota Supra. Toyota has pulled out the licenses for all of their road cars in any racing game, because they want people to buy their cars in real life and not in a racing game. It's Toyota's fault. Toyota doesn't allow it. You cannot get it in a game. So stop asking for a bloody stupid Supra in every single game. It's getting a bit annoying over time. That's that, and other than that, as I said, there is this car list hanging about in the game file somewhere. A bunch of cars on there. I'm assuming they're holding a few of those back for whatever that expansion or update is coming that they are working on, and then you will see also a bunch of those new cars. That is how it always goes with an expansion or so. You get new cars to come along with it. Next to that, some of the other cars on that list will be future Summit cars for sure, and so on. So we keep on playing the Summit, and I am very well aware that on the site there is not that much to do. My personal opinion, they should have a relook at PvP that should be updated properly with all different disciplines, not just based on street and hypercar only, and put the collisions off, because there's a bunch of people out there who can't drive or who have no clue about pro settings, and it just turns into one big ramming festival. So if you want to make a mixed playlist and you want to give new players a chance to upgrade their cars also in PvP, you need to make playlist with no collisions. Next to that, there needs to be way more variety in choices as well. The playlist of 20 tracks a day doesn't really work anymore. Just make it so that you have a variety of 4 tracks that you can choose from in this current playlist. That's how it goes now. That works very nice. And what also should be gone is the revenge. Revenge is something you can do one time, that is a revenge, but not 6, 7, 8 times in a row. If once the revenge happened, it should not be an option to vote on that same track again the next round. It's as simple as that. That's something they need to look into. Next to that, yeah, stuff needs to happen. I expect in that new thing, whatever it is that they're working on, some sort of route creator in there as well. That is definitely something that is missing here. And some stuff to do on the side. In the Crew 1 we had that award thing going with those 15,000 little side points goals that you could do. Find this plane, or find this guy, or find or jump over a plane or over a train or whatever. You had to drive around and look for those things. Also one of those things was the car wrecks. That was also something I quite enjoyed myself there. Looking around. I'm not really of a cruiser unless there is some goal attached to it. I don't mind cruising around a little bit, but just cruising around to cruise is not something that I do. But I don't mind cruising around and look for stuff. If there is a goal at the end of the road, then I'm in for it as well. I'm not always messing about in summits and PvP and doing competitive stuff. No, I also like just to drive around in a car. As long as there is a goal at the end of the horizon, more or less. That's what it comes down to. And summit-wise, meanwhile, I always do these numbers, so the noob does summiting. Yeah, I sort of do also have my main driver, of course. And this week I decided to post some footage from my main driver, which is going pretty okay at the moment. If we go over the standings here. Slalom world record. Aerobatics 31,500 is the maximum score, so also world record in a way. Boys smashing 36,578 is the world record. That is exactly the score that I have as well. Sort of the maximum score if you hit all the green boys and leave the red boys be in a certain time. You will get 36,578 by the looks of it, because that's exactly what about 4 people have right now. So also that in a way is the world record. So yeah, not that bad for the skill tests. The touring car we did in a team ended up with a 45, I think. I didn't post that. Don't have any footage of that. But yeah, it's with 3-4 people slipstreaming 8 laps on the Jersey circuit thing there, and 4 out of our 5 members are in the top 5 after a couple of runs. The drift can be improved if you want, but it doesn't matter that much. Summit points wise, if you score 600 or 700,000 points, it's not that much different. The street races I also posted, Demolition Derby I also posted. So the only thing I didn't do yet, well, I put a time there now for now. I have 10.1 seconds. I did a solo run here. If you can do this with a team, you can get, let's have a look. Whenever this thing decides to work, this. Oh, there we go. You can get times around 9.3, 9.2. This first guy here, I have no idea who he is. Comes out of nowhere. The first time I see that name, he goes half a second faster than people doing it in a team. That make me kind of doubtful that that actually is a legit score. Unless something glitchy happened or something, that might be a possibility. But I also, there's nobody else there with sort of similar time as him. So, which also kind of suggests that he did it solo. So, solo 8.7, I don't think so. So, whoever that first guy is, doesn't seem to be very proper. I got 10 seconds, I got 130,000 points, I think. So, if you do 9.2, 9.3, you score about 140, 141,000. So, that means 10,000 points more. If we look in the overall, if I get, I'm 7th at the moment. If I get 10,000 points more, I'm 2nd or 3rd. So that is sort of my overall at the moment. Day 2 in this summit, 11,377 players ranked on PC. 11,377. It seems to be pretty dead, right? Some people out there, they might not be interested in the summit, but there are several 10,000s of players playing summits as well on PC as on PlayStation, and also quite a few on Xbox. That is what people do. You don't always see them drive around on the map or do some stuff now because they're involved in this summit thing here. They're in an event. You cannot see that on the map because they are doing their stuff in the thing here. But I thought I'm gonna do a video of this because I'm slightly getting sick of these things happening. For instance, when it comes to Blackpanthaa, I will sort of try to explain that to you guys. How does this work? They sort of work with like two teams, right? You have the public relations team, the PR team, which are more or less connected to Ubisoft, and they are in Paris, I believe, but they also have offices in the UK, in the USA, in Asia. And this is the PR, the public relations. What do? They invite these people, like popular YouTubers, people from the press, from magazines, and so on. They invite them occasionally to some playtest, and they can play it a bit, to some pre-recording sessions where they can pre-record for 1 or 2 hours. And then they have some footage from whatever is coming. That is usually a couple of days or weeks before the actual thing is coming, and that's when they can see what is going on in the game for 1 or 2 hours. So they cannot see everything because they don't also have not really have the proper timing to figure out everything. Other than that, they get some hints and some rumors here and there, but they don't have the correct information. People like Blackpanthaa are connected to that PR team. So he gets some hints occasionally or whatever, and then he misinterprets them, or he just draws his own conclusions. The problem that I have with that is if they do videos like, hey, this and that is happening, or this or that is coming, and then it's not coming, and then it's like, oh, the game is dead. No, it isn't. It's just like they are misinforming a lot of people. There are 10,000, maybe even 100,000 people watching that video that he does there, like, and he's telling a lot of crap. He's telling a lot of crap, he's telling a lot of untruth, he has no inside information, he has no idea what's going on. And then he's telling stuff like, hey, there's an expansion coming. I think he did like 2-3 videos during the summer, and then now he does like some sort of disappointment video because the expansion is not there. The expansion was never mentioned, only by him. He created the expansion in his head, and there are 10,000s of people thinking that it's real. That stuff needs to stop. You have other people who are connected to the community team, that's Ivory Tower, that is in Lyon. They are connected to the devs, they have inside information months ahead of what is coming. They know what is coming, they know that the game is not dead, but of course they cannot always reveal everything. That is the difference. You have some guy talking a lot of crap out of his neck, which is untruth, and then you have other guys who know the truth, but they can't really tell everything or spill it out because that's how things are. They are under NDA or whatever. But there is a bit of a difference. But it is kind of strange that you are like playing a game and it's all good and it's all fine, and then you suddenly get invited to Gamescom by some other game, which you suddenly start hyping all over the place. You come back from Gamescom and then suddenly all the other games are trash. It is so typical YouTube business. That's what it is. They want to get hyped about new games because that's the other thing that they do. They are game hoppers. They jump from one game to another, whether it's a good or not. That they don't care for that. They just only want views and want money to come in. Most of their videos will also be like 10-11 minutes because, you know, that means that they can put more ads on their videos, and they don't make them any longer because it does not change if you make an hour video or 2-hour video. It doesn't matter. If you have 10 minutes or more, you can put more than one ad on your video. So what do? They do 10 minutes and a half, 11-minute videos. Another one of those things. Point being, a lot of babbling about, because I am kind of sick of those idiots. If you do not have any proper information and you come out with some video, you are free to make out your own opinion, not a problem. But make very clear that it is your opinion and that you do not have proper information. Don't sound like it is going to happen like you say it is, unless you have the proper information. You are now misinforming a bunch of people. They are taking whatever it is that you say for real because that's what they do. They just believe you out of nowhere. Make it clear that it is expectations, guessing, things that are playing in your mind, but not necessarily in the dev's mind. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.